What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the Pavement Group podcast, Talking Lots. I don't know if you can guess, but this is our Christmas episode. I have Mike Cassetti and Chad Fay from our sales team here. I'm going to introduce these gentlemen in just a moment. And we're talking about Christmas movies, right? We're getting into the important subjects here on the Pavement Group podcast, Talking Lots. And these guys, experts in their field, the asphalt field, but also Christmas movies, I've come to find. And we're going to get some really good feedback from them. We're going to chew through what's good, what's bad to watch this time of year, and all that. So thank you so much for joining us here on Talking Lots, the Pavement Group podcast. Mr. Assetti, I'm going to start with you, sir. So Mike and Chad both started with us this year. They are national account executives. Mike started in August?
Something like that.
Okay. But you've got a pretty deep background in, there we go. We're off to a great start. Yeah. You get a pretty deep background in the asphalt maintenance world. We just let us know where you came from and what made you come over to the Pavement Group.
So originally from Niagara Falls, New York, my family owned a paving company up there. Then they relocated that when I was probably about 15 or 16 to sunny South Florida. I had zero intentions on being in the asphalt business.
Sure. Nobody ever does.
Nobody, yeah, right? You kind of fall into it a little bit. So
yeah.
I moved down to South Florida. I didn't have a job, and my grandfather and my uncle were really riding me about either going back to school or going to work for them. And I started working for them, and I really did fall in love with asphalt, which is crazy.
No kid. What were you doing for them? Were you out in the field or?
Yeah, I started in the field, and that's kind of where my love for it really, the rock finishing crew. I was on a rock finishing crew with a gentleman named William Griffin.
Okay.
And he basically taught me almost everything I know about grades and elevations and how important the base work is for asphalt. Everyone thinks asphalt,
sure.
Well, they look at it, the base underneath your asphalt is the most important part. And
sure.
When I started with Wild Bill, because it was the rock grading crew, watching water, where water goes. And I would go to parking lots at night to go out partying. I'd have a couple beers, I'd leave, and I'd watch water in parking lots as I would leave. So,
wow. Man, that sounds like it could be the foundation of a Hallmark Christmas movie, actually.
I mean, right? I could star in it too. Handsome
You're
fellas.
Back in the Niagara Falls area, just watching water one night late at a bar.
Right?
I don't know. That's all frozen there at that time.
Did any of your friends make fun of you for any of this?
Yes. So one of my good friends, this is hysterical too. One of my good friends moved with me from Niagara Falls to Florida, and he didn't have a job neither. So I'm like, hey, come work with us and everything will be good. He did not last long. He lasted about 3 or 4 months and moved back to Niagara Falls and told all my buddies what I was doing here. And yeah, they all started, hey, what's wrong with you? And I said, I needed it. Honestly, it was the fact that I really didn't want to go to college anymore. And I really needed something in my life to
kind of get passionate about.
Needed a livelihood, I got to pay bills, and I fell into a great opportunity, and I turned it into a career, and very happy that I did. And I really do enjoy this business. I mean, it's super unique, and it's super gratifying when you're all done with something, even if it is a maintenance project and you're just kind of putting everything together to look a little bit better. When it's done, it looks 10 times better than it did before you started. And it's just prideful. So I take a lot of pride in making things look better than it did before I got there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Chad, and so you're down we're a Florida guy for a long time. Sorry, Chad. Mike, Niagara Falls to Florida. You're in South Carolina now, just kind of outside of Columbia there, right?
Yes. So we are in a place called Travelers Rest, South Carolina. It is just south of Asheville, North Carolina. It's up in the mountains.
So will you get snow?
We will get snow probably 4 or 5 times this year, but nothing like major.
But you get a shot at a white Christmas.
Possibly, yeah, possibly. But if anything, the next morning it's gone. Like it'll snow for a little bit, and then the following morning, as soon as the big ball of fire goes up in the sky, the snow is melted away.
Okay. All good, man. And then Chad Fay. Welcome, Chad.
Thanks for having me, Todd.
You betcha. You betcha. So Chad's also a national account executive. He's been with the Pavement Group this was your first season. You came in a little earlier than Mike did, but did a great job just like Mike did. You fit the team really well. You want to introduce yourself to the audience, just a little bit about your background?
Yeah, Chad, Faye, this is, I'd say I'm pretty close to a decade now in the paving business. I came from a background of, I was actually the director of sales for a brewery out of Portland, Maine, before I came on board and got into the asphalt business. I had a friend of mine years ago, I believe posted, I think, something somewhere, that the company he was working for was looking for sales guys in the paving room. That guy happens to be wearing a Santa suit right now.
Yes.
So
I was not wearing one then. This isn't.
no,
this is
no,
just
I
once
would
a
have
year.
definitely not taken the job.
Right.
And,
Point.
so it got to that point in time where I was kind of looking to get out of the beer business. I'd done it for about 15 years, and yeah, I mean the paving world came knocking. So Todd and I, we sat down and chatted about it, and decided to make the move. So that was I think that was 2014 or 2015, and that was a local company south of Boston. Worked there for a bunch of years. Moved to a company that was north of Boston. Anyone that's familiar with Boston knows that there's a lot of traffic, and it was helpful for me to be a little bit closer to where my customers were, which I was gaining a lot of customers north of the city. Tough to get a paving crew up that way sometimes. So yeah, did that, and then this opportunity came along, and it was something exciting for me, exciting to work with Todd again. And yeah, I mean, it was just something I couldn't pass up. I got pretty much involved in the national side when I was with my first paving company, and just loved it. Absolutely loved everything about it. So when Pavement Group came calling, I definitely was happy to join for sure. So happy to be here.
Well, again, great to have both of you guys on the team. You've both done a phenomenal job this year, and as I said, it's we talk about it a lot. We're all about culture, and we're all about fit, and we like to have fun. And you guys definitely have made improvements in the company for us. So grateful, and also that Chad and I worked together for years. We actually went to the same high school. We've known each other for a long time. Mike, you had a long history with Tony, our COO, and I think it speaks volumes about what we're doing here, that you guys were willing to come over and want to be a part of it with us when we asked, and that that we can get such quality people to come and join the journey here, be part of the mission. I always screw that up, by the way, so I'm not going to try to say it verbatim, but great to have you guys here. All right, so let's talk. So Chad, how old are your daughters?
I have a 5-year-old and a 1.5-year-old.
5 and 1.5. And Mike, your daughter is
2.5.
She's 2.5. So
Yeah.
You guys are like right in the middle right now of getting into the Christmas. I mean, this is the best time of year when you're 5, 2.5 years old. It's an incredible, few weeks we got coming up here. Are you guys watching a lot of Christmas movies right now with the kids?
Go ahead, Mike.
It started.
It started, yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Mike? I'll start with you. What makes a really good Christmas movie foundationally? Like, what are the elements that make a Christmas movie really good, a classic?
I mean, it has to be around Christmas time. Like, it has to be, snow in the back. Snow is another big thing.
Sure.
So basically, it has to be around Christmas time or the winter. You got to have some snow involved in it. Maybe even a little Santa Claus action, but he's not really necessary. You don't really have to have Santa Claus.
Okay. Not even once? Like, not even a cameo?
Nah,
This has nothing to do with how I'm dressed. I'm not taking offense. I'm just
I
asking the question.
feel like you are because of the way you're dressed, but I don't feel like
maybe.
he has to be involved. The concept of Christmas really is like a religious thing, but none of the movies are ever religious. They're always, fun-loving movies. Very, very rarely do you have the religious part in it. So I don't really think
that's true.
Right?
Can you think of one or two that have done a good job at that? That sort of the foundational part of it was more about Christ than it was Santa? I don't want to get deep here either. We got to keep this light. But
no, not really. Not off the top of my head,
I can't really either.
All the good ones, no.
So in theory, really, all the movies about Christ really are Christmas movies, but we don't see them that way.
Maybe one, Charlie Brown Christmas. That really gets into the religious part of
Great
it, and that's a
point.
really, really good one too. Back when I was a kid, that was like the big one. Like we always had to watch Charlie Brown Christmas as a kid growing up. So maybe that one.
Yeah. The music from that is like my favorite Christmas music.
They put it on Spotify too now, so I had like
Oh
a
yeah.
Christmas going on Spotify yesterday, and the Charlie Brown song came on. I started doing a little
That
dance.
whatever, however that goes. I think that.
You butchered it, but yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
But Chad, so Mike let us know what he thinks makes for a great Christmas movie. How about yourself? What are the kind of the key elements to a great Christmas movie?
Well, I think Mike touched on a lot of them, to be honest, that I kind of
Okay.
had. But obviously, I think the first would be kind of like Mike said too, is that Christmas is almost like a character in the movie. You know,
Oh,
it's got a role in the movie in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes it shows up in the third act, but um, there is like there's that. It's central to the plot for the most part.
sure.
I think the
It's a
second
little
one.
deeper than I was expecting, to be honest with you. I feel like I'm in a film school lecture right now. This is
Listen,
great. Good.
technical difficulties gave me a minute to think about this. So,
Yeah. And you went to like the Vassar website and
yeah, no, I did. Yeah, no,
got
I could,
yourself a term paper.
yeah, I consulted some friends. Um,
Beautiful.
yeah, I would say that obviously, I think that snow, like Mike said, is another big one. I need snow. I need snow in a Christmas movie. Like a Christmas movie that's set in like Southern California, not doing it for me. Maybe it's because I'm
Okay.
from Boston. But yeah, I'm not into it. And I think lately, I mean, obviously, things kind of change, and Todd, and Mike knows as well, is that when you have kids, it's a little bit different. Um, it's kind of like the magic of Christmas when that kind of
Oh,
needs to
sure.
be there. So like that wonder, the excitement that the kids get, that kind of is really what will bring a Christmas a movie home for me. So
Okay. That's great. Yeah, you want to feel that magic. You want to get caught up in the story, but it doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas all the way along. Maybe like you're saying, it's at the end.
sure, I mean, it's just got to be involved some way, shape, or form. Maybe the story itself is wrapped around Christmas, but it's got to be somewhat of a character in the movie.
So let me ask you this: so like that old debate of Die Hard being a Christmas movie or not, which is something that's been debated for decades now. And I'm not asking you guys, although you can weigh in what your feeling is there. But is that sort of what you mean? Like Christmas is a backdrop. It just so happens at a Christmas party, it's not really obviously it's not a festive movie. But is that what you mean by it's a character in the movie?
I'm kind of going there a little bit, and maybe it's something we would have touched on a little bit later. But I'm not a Die Hard as a Christmas movie guy. Love the movie, don't get me
Okay,
wrong, but yeah, I mean, it just happens that Nakatomi Plaza is disrupted at Christmas, but it
sure.
it could happen in June.
But
You
doesn't
know,
it add like another layer to it that it's Christmas time? Makes it a little more, I don't know, impactful or sad or
It
exciting?
revolves. It revolves around a Christmas party.
yeah, but so does
It
it.
does.
All right, that's fine. But you know what? I could think of a couple movies like Trading Places.
That's a
Christmas.
great one.
It's
Great
not a
Christmas
Christmas
movie. That's
movie.
a Christmas movie. That's a great Christmas movie.
Oh,
No?
Mike, I think you're pretty liberal then with the definition. I just think, of the definition of a Christmas movie here. If
Yeah,
there's any
Yeah,
Christmas going on,
I think Dan he dresses up as Santa Claus in
I
it. I think.
okay. Well, I'll give you another
he
example
does.
then. If you want to go in the action genre, Lethal Weapon. Also around Christmas. Granted, there's a California aspect to that, or wherever they are. There's no snow, so that
Right.
one it should be gone. But same premise.
Well, Home
Yeah.
Alone isn't really about Christmas, but I think people consider that a Christmas movie, right? Because it takes place, but they're going on a Christmas trip. It's family. It adds a little more to the drama that it is Christmas time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Christmas is a little bit of a character in that movie because
Okay.
Home Alone is definitely a Christmas movie.
Ah,
Hey,
Mike
we
has got
all
a
agree
lot of
there.
hills. A lot of hills he's willing to die on here with the Christmas
That is
movie
a Christmas. It's all
discussion.
based on leaving the kid home during Christmas.
I didn't say it wasn't a
True.
Christmas movie. I'm saying it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Die Hard, no.
Ah, rat.
Do they
Yeah,
sell?
yeah.
I don't even remember Die Hard at this point. I mean, I remember it, but not the whole thing. Do they celebrate Christmas at any point in the movie?
No.
No.
I don't think they do. It's just sort of,
No.
again, the backdrop. It's a character.
It was,
But they don't. They're not around the tree at the end drinking eggnog, saying, "Wow, it's a Christmas miracle." That
I think they are around the tree at the end because it's in the plaza there, and it's the backdrop of the plaza when the movie's ending. The tree's like there, so yeah. But they don't really celebrate the actual Christmas. It's just a Christmas party. But that's a Christmas movie.
okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah,
I guess I mean, it's a 50-50. We might have to put this vote out to the viewers and find out what they think.
Agree to disagree.
It's so funny how
I would love to see the results of that. I would love to see the results of that.
It is funny how that's become like the seminal movie to debate, though, whether it's a Christmas movie or not. Because there are several. Like Chad brought up a couple other ones that could be right in the mix too.
But he also brought up the fact with the kids, like for adults, Die Hard's a great Christmas movie.
Good point.
All right.
Yeah, good point. All right. Well, with that, let's get into. So we're going to do a little speed round here. I got 4 questions for you, sort of 4 rankings of Christmas movies all time. And it's hot garbage is number 1. What's the worst Christmas movie of all time, in your opinion? Overrated. What movie do you think gets a little more, I don't know, pub than it really should? What's an underrated Christmas movie for you? And then what's the best movie ever in your opinion? And it'll be interesting for me to see, because my kids are a little bit older. And I remember I probably had different favorite Christmas movies 10 years ago than I do now, where, and I wonder if it's the same for you guys, or if it's strictly, you got your own movies and then you got the family movies. I mean, you're obviously not going to watch Die Hard with a 2-year-old, although you could. You really could. I mean, with what's on TikTok these days, what's the difference? Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to start with hot garbage. We'll go all around. Chad, hot garbage Christmas movie of all time for you.
I mean, I don't know if I have a hot garbage one, or one that basically gives you the impression that it's a Christmas movie, which is so far. And I'm going to go with Reindeer Games.
That's a great one. So that gives you the impression that it's a Christmas movie just because reindeer's in the title.
Exactly. Well, Reindeer Games. I mean, it's in the song, the whole thing. So like, you just get that feeling like, hey, it's Reindeer Games you're going to be in, and then it's just horrendous acting, and the plot is terrible as well. So yeah, I'll go with hot garbage, Reindeer Games.
Is that Ben Affleck?
It is.
Okay. Yeah. That was during his poker phase. I don't know what we'll call it, but he wasn't really focused on acting.
No.
He made some real crappy movies. All right, Mike, for you, biggest hot garbage Christmas movie of all time.
So I love Bill Murray, and I thought Scrooge was absolutely terrible.
Oh no.
So
man, that's
me.
That is a blasphemous thing for you to say. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and it just so happens it's review time, Mike. So, boy, that was poor timing on your part. Man, you don't like Scrooged?
I didn't. No, I just, never liked it. I mean, I haven't watched it in a while. Maybe I changed, but I remember watching it originally maybe years and years ago, and I'm like, man, I don't think I'd ever watch. Like, and I like Bill Murray.
Yeah, sure. Who doesn't like Bill Murray? He's the best.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
Okay,
not my favorite
movie.
Bill Murray movie.
Didn't make it anywhere onto the list, but I did like that movie. For me, absolute hot garbage. Christmas with the Cranks. Anything. I feel like Tim Allen just blew it across the board with Christmas. He just did not have a good showing at any time. But all the clauses and any of that stuff, just not great. Okay. All right. How about overrated? Let's start with you, Mike. Most overrated Christmas movie of all time.
Elf. I really didn't think that was funny neither.
This podcast is over. Elf.
Yeah, I feel like Will Ferrell tried way too hard to be funny in that, and just didn't like it. Thought it was, and everybody seems to love it too, just based on your faces. Based on your faces,
great.
You guys are like big. I didn't think it was funny.
It's a top 5. It's definitely a top 5. Interesting. Okay. How about you, Chad? Overrated.
Well, I was gonna go. Jeez, I mean, I'm still trying to take a breather from Elf getting knocked down.
I know, and Scrooge. Like, this has been a tough couple minutes here.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say overrated. I'm gonna go with. I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Todd. Anything Tim Allen, the Santa Claus, all of it overrated. I also am going to go, and I'm going to probably upset some soccer moms out there, but I'm going to go with Love Actually.
Okay.
That one is,
Gonna upset some soccer moms. You're going to have 20 Chrysler Pacificas in your driveway in a few minutes. Chad, be careful.
Yeah, there's a lot of Honda Pilots that are about to stop at my house.
For sure.
So,
For sure. All right.
yeah, I'm gonna go with I think those two. But yeah, the Tim Allen one, I didn't want to steal your thunder or anything, but that one,
Okay. Love Actually, that's Hugh Grant.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of it's a ensemble cast.
Okay.
That's
yeah, I haven't seen that one in a number of years.
For a reason.
Okay. Yeah, probably.
I
For myself,
I don't think I've ever seen it, so
I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't bother. Myself, overrated, A Christmas Story with Ralphie and the Red Ryder BB gun. And here's why I say that. Like, that might be an unpopular opinion. There's not one likable character in that entire movie. Like, the kid's a brat. His little brother's, he's like whiny. The mom's kind of a mess. The dad's a jerk, like Santa Claus sucks, kicks him down like everything about that movie is so sort of negative. And like when Scott Farkas beat the crap out of him, I was kind of like, he was, it didn't move me at all. Like either way, I'm like, yeah, that kid needed to get his ass kicked a little bit, but, and then he shoots his eye out at the end. You're like, well, who saw that come? I don't know. It's just, it's like the tone of it's cool. And the throwback and I just think it's overrated.
There are some amazingly funny lines in that movie, though. That
agreed.
Don't get me wrong. I and who names their kid Scott?
the Scott Farkas affair.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go the other way. How about underrated? Chad, what do you think? Most underrated Christmas movie of all time?
I don't know. I kind of went back and forth with this. I'm actually going to say Scrooge is one of them because I think Scrooge is a great movie. I also, this one's kind of it's not a great movie, but I think there's some pretty funny parts to it. Is Four Christmases with Vince Vaughn.
Fantastic movie. Yeah.
I think it's underrated.
Agreed. It just hadn't gotten momentum. I guess it's not that new anymore, but I feel like it's a newer one that just hasn't caught its momentum yet. It's like Bad Moms Christmas. That's going to be a classic in like 10 years.
True.
Can't watch it with the kids either, but
those would be my
underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah, well done, man. I like the thought you put into this, Chad. Underrated for you, Michael.
Well, I don't think anyone really considers this one a Christmas movie, but I do, and that's The Mighty Ducks.
Okay.
I
love this take. Go ahead.
I grew up playing hockey, so it was like I always enjoyed this movie around the holidays. Like I actually already watched it once this year. It's just I enjoy that movie. It's not like it's like a stupid comedy, but like anytime I can watch an Emilio Estevez movie, I'm good.
So how many? What is there? Like 9 of those movies? Mighty Ducks.
There's a bunch. There's a bunch.
Mighty Ducks: The Apology. I think that
but
was
the first one was just like such a cool concept for me as a hockey player growing up, and to me it was always around Christmas where we watched it because it was a hockey movie and snow and winter and all that stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So it's just one that I kind of put on the side that is a Christmas movie for me.
So underrated from the respect of underrated as a movie, but also underrated as a Christmas movie. It's thought of as a Christmas movie. Correct. I like that. That's really good because I think that's an awesome movie too. Yeah. I love that. Do they all take place around Christmas or just the first one?
The first one, the first two, and to be honest with you, I don't really know too much about the rest of them because I really just stopped watching them after the first two. I really liked those two. Then I think the third one was pretty bad.
It makes sense because when we were growing up, hockey was played in the winter, right? It was just 3 months. Now it's played like 10 and a half months.
Playing hockey, that's, it was our movie. So me and my friends too. It wasn't just me. A lot of my buddies that I played hockey with, we all enjoyed that movie. So
very cool. Well, good call there. All right, Mike, I'm going to let you, I'm sorry. I didn't give you my underrated. My most underrated, and I absolutely love this movie, Fred Claus, another Vince Vaughn. It's so good. And you got Paul Giamatti as Santa Claus. Are you kidding me? It's unbelievable.
I actually had that. I had that on my list, Todd.
You did as a top or as an underrated?
As an underrated. I guess I think Vince Vaughn's underrated in Christmas films.
He is. Well, I mean, he plays the same character in every movie, which I love. I love that character in every movie. But it could have been Fred Claus in Four Christmases. It's the same guy, basically. So good, so good. All right, so best ever. Mike, what's your favorite movie? Actually, I'm going to go first because you guys are bringing the heat here. So I'll knock mine out here first, and then we can have a discussion here. For me, I had a tie for the best Christmas movie ever between Christmas Vacation and The Grinch, Jim Carrey, the Jim Carrey version of The Grinch. I think those are the two greatest Christmas movies of all time. I'm not going to say Miracle on 34th Street because I have zero culture. I'm all about the Jim Carrey crap. How about you guys, Mike?
So my favorite is the original Grinch, the Dr. Seuss The Grinch. I mean, that thing is just timeless. I could watch it 100 times and still watch it again. I absolutely love that stupid movie for some crazy reason. Maybe it's because it was always just a part of my childhood, The Grinch.
Sure, yeah.
But
you're talking the animated one.
Yes, the animated one. And then last year, my 2-year-old really started to understand Christmas a little bit. Obviously, with the presents and everything, she's more aware of it. She absolutely loves The Grinch. She will watch that thing over and over, and I got no complaints with that because I will watch it over and over with her because I love that movie so much. So the Jim Carrey one, I said, all right, let me try this one, and the first half of it I didn't like. The second half was amazing, and I thought it was great. So I really liked that one too. So
okay,
yep,
awesome, man.
Yep,
Chad,
I'm gonna have to concur with Christmas Vacation. It's
okay.
I mean, I'm a big Fletch guy.
Tallying the votes. Yep.
So I loved Chevy in that era, and it actually was on last night, and so I watched it for a few minutes, and I mean, the movie just holds up so well, no matter what. But I found it interesting is that I kind of wanted to do some math on it and said, how old's Chevy in this movie? And Chevy was 46, which is actually how old I am when Christmas Vacation came out.
Wow.
And I'm like, you know what? It just kind of hit home the right way. And the fact that he, when he's standing out front with his dad, and he's like, Dad, you taught me everything I know about exterior illumination.
Yeah.
I want that moment with my dad so bad.
There you go.
It's everything I want in life. But yeah, it's up there for sure. I mean, Christmas Story, I'm a big fan too, but you shot that one down.
Yeah, I think you know the truth about it now. Sorry to expose that. But yeah, with Cousin Eddie in Christmas Vacation. I mean, the characters in that.
All those characters just spot on. That movie is a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, yeah. Man, that's that, the way it used to be at Christmas, like you had 20 relatives that came in town and they were sleeping on the floor in a blow up mattress, and it was chaotic for 10 days, and so good. So good. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this. You got anything else you wanted to share about Christmas movies? Any other controversial takes? I think we covered a lot here.
It has nothing to do with Christmas, but I do want to point out I'm on the call here with 2 New England Patriot fans and my first place in the AFC Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
That's all.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about here.
None.
Oh, Michael.
None.
Good Lord. This was going so well. Actually, what was the, not 4 Christmases, but Super Bowl loss? What was that? Was that a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
And what?
It felt like Christmas all those years, right? And then we just lost every single Christmas. So we got coal in the stockings those 4 years.
Right. Yeah. No, man. Yeah. Your team's great. Josh Allen, I think, is like the best player on the planet right now. He's a lot of fun to watch.
Thanks.
We got Christmas gifts every year for 20 years. So you know what? You can have that.
You did. So when I get one little couple years here and I'm on the call with 2 of you guys, I gotta throw it out there. Merry Christmas.
Gotta shoot your shot.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. When is the Super Bowl this weekend? Oh no, we still got a couple months. Okay. No. Well, we'll see what happens.
Nope.
All good. All right. Michael, Chad, 2 great additions to the TPG team this year. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being good sports and jumping on here and giving some really great feedback. Christmas movies are a big thing for a lot of people. So hopefully our viewers enjoy this. And folks, give us any feedback that you have. You want to get on podcast with us and argue about it, we'll do that. But Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everyone. We're going to see y'all after the break. And thank you again for following along here, the Pavement Group podcast, when we're talking lots. Take care, everybody.